in England, we have to follow protocol. So we have to know that we have to go train and we have to come back into the room and say, this is what we can do. And it's only by when you have to make sure your councillors are equipped that they can deliver themselves. So when they meet residents, they can say, this is what we're going to do, and this is the funding we're going to need, and we have to work with them.
Today we want to have a few tours at various areas, and I was saying to you before that we have twin with Germany and also Lakeland in the United States. Those two are our sister city, and we are looking forward that we will have further discussion that we can develop such a relationship to share best practices between the Portmore City Municipality and Barking and Dagenham. Now, today we have a long day. The mayor plans to stay with us up until 2 o'clock. And I know Councillor Douglas is where to go because that's the section of Portmore you were living, and he claimed that we have to focus on Waterford. So we listen to him. But the deputy mayor will say, not only Waterford, we are going to the college in Portmore, and that is within his division. Right? So you are going to 2 divisions this morning for us to look at the institutions that are there and what they have.
All councillors have to go to training. So each and every councillor, the 51 councillors, they have to do training to make sure we know the specialist they would like to go into. So we can know how to work on so that we can build our country, our community. And when we say no one is left behind, if you are, at the moment, Barking and Dagenham is taking a lot of people in because we have to open our doors to diversity. And we have to prove that diversity means a lot to us. And England is not like first time when you can say because you're white and you rule the place. No, we come in as Jamaicans, we come in as Asians. We stamp our life. So what we have to do, we have to make things that we can say that we are educated enough, that we can suggest things that can make money, that we can fund our community.
Yeah, wonderful. Just want to follow up. Based on those best practices, I'm just wondering how those knowledge can be passed on to us, like training with the training councillors and the initiative of renting spaces that you earn your own for financing. If some of those knowledge passed on to us so that we here can start to practice some of those.
You can do me privately, and I can come back if you want me to come back to show you how to do things privately. Because when you have a councillor, you have to train them. You know, you have to tell them how you want this to work. In England, we have to follow protocol. So we have to know that we have to go train and we have to come back into the room and say, this is what we can do. So for say you have a problem with doing public speaking, you have to be trained before you can go out and be in a public speaking. And how to get people to come in, such a suggestion, what can we do to build the community better. And it's only by when you have to make sure your councillors are equipped that they can deliver themselves. So when they meet residents, they can say, this is what we're going to do, and this is the funding we're going to need, and we have to work with them. Because it doesn't make sense to promise the residents the world. Be honest to them. Be bold and say, yes, we have 20 pounds, but we have to build this facility that we can make sure the generation goes on. One of the next things we do, we train, like if they want to be a butcher, we train them. So if you have like, as I'm a mayor, I have a young mayor, so I can train her how to approach people.
Yes.
So we do training, we also do training with children to do hairdresser, everything. We have a training that we know that we are, whatever we say, no one is left behind, we are proving it.
Worshipful Councillor Donna Lumsden, it is said that England is one of the richest countries in the world, among the richest countries in the world. But you are very close to Portmore, where we have over 219,000 people living in Barking and Dagenham. But when I go on the internet, if I should be like traveling, I am not sure if Barking and Dagenham would be my location to visit, because I'm seeing some issues that now I'd like to ask. What is the relationship between the local council and central government? Just picking up the phone and I look at what are the social issues in Dagenham, and it states that the residents of Barking and Dagenham, a borough of London, has a number of wicked and complex challenges facing its residents: lack of opportunity, economic precarities, housing insecurity and homelessness, high rates of domestic violence, and a significantly high level of deprivation and unemployment. Just by taking up the phone and seeing this.
Yeah.
From the local government standpoint, what are you doing to solve some of these ills, and what is the relationship between the parish council, your local council, and central government? England is known to be helping the world, but here I'm seeing a borough that is in serious trouble. How are you working with them to get yourselves out of this?
Barking and Dagenham is one of the poorest boroughs.
I'm seeing that.
One of the poorest boroughs. And the reason why we have that problem, because we deal with diversity. And if you know England as much as I do, and the government that is ruling, they are not for people of ethnic minority. And that has caused, that is why we are the only, even though we are the poorest borough, and every borough is crashing after we have the COVID, we stand firm. We have to put in things in places. When the Thatcher came, she made this thing worse for us because she sell out all the houses. So when we had houses that we could have poor people to go into, those houses were sold off even to myself. We bought the property. If we bought the property, there was nothing left behind, so we have to start to build new property for people. We take in Romanians, Lithuanians, we take in a lot of people in our borough. They are speaking our language. We have to teach them. So what we do now, we have now requested to have places where we can put butcher shop and so forth, and the fish places that we can bring in more money in our borough. But we are the poorest borough. We are the only borough that deal with diversity. We are the only borough that challenge the conservative, because we are 51 people that we don't have nobody else. We don't have no conservative, we don't have anybody in our borough. We fight for ourselves. But they gave us a fight.